Szanowni Pani, ta Panowie, dear ladies and gentlemen, we are before the first memorial of Holodomor, Ukrainian genocide, in the United States. This was unveiled on May 18th, 1986. It endures as a testament to a genocide so cruel and vast that it makes one weep and achingly speak the words, never again. And yet it seems to me that this is a genocide grievously forgotten, grievously unknown. Otto Subtelny, in his book, Ukraine a History, does not use the word. Holodomor is not to be found in his index. Professor Timothy Snyder, a strong advocate for Ukraine, much like our keynote speaker today, Timothy Snyder, in his tome, Bloodlands, does not use the word. Holodomor is not in his index either. He writes on page 431, quote, I refrain from using the term Holodomor for Stalin's deliberate starvation of Soviet Ukraine, not because the term is less precise than Holocaust, but simply because it is unfamiliar to almost all readers of English. We are between oblivion and memory. In 1932-1933, the Soviet-Russian regime was intent on eliminating Ukrainian language, Ukrainian religion, Ukrainian peasant way of life, the Ukrainian soul, and Ukrainian history, especially if it was written in Ukrainian. This was done in a way that did not catalog the targets. It did not round them up into centralized hellholes, but let them drop, emaciated, bloated, uncounted, one by one, millions. Historians' understanding of how many millions is difficult. It ranges from 4 to 10.5. Mykola Rudenko, poet, wrote, quote, there was no bread, only darkness. There was no life, only death. Alexei Holovko presented us with his eyewitness account. A red blizzard, wailing, weeping, pierced the bloody thick mornings. I am in my sorrowful Ukraine, crucified by Moscow on an honest cross. Around me, graves, graves, graves. In the graves lies my wretched country. O holy fate, give me strength, that I may say the hereto unsaid, the fiery word that seizes the heart. We languish and perish in cruel prison. There is no salvation, none, none, none. Alone, we cannot escape from hell. He penned this verse in 1933, while in Ukraine. He memorized the poem. He burned the paper on which it was written. Years later in Canada, he wrote it again from memory for us. Walter Duranty, the Anglo-American journalist who was Moscow bureau chief of the New York Times between 1922 and 1936, was awarded a Pulitzer Prize for his covering of what was going on in Soviet Ukraine. He denied the fact that the Holodomor occurred, ascribing it to oblivion. Privately, to the British Embassy in Moscow in 1934, he reported that perhaps as many as 10 million people might have died, directly or indirectly, by man-made famine in the Soviet Union in 1933. The New York Times declines to revoke the Pulitzer Prize. Is the Budapest Memorandum subsumed in a state of oblivion? In its third year of independence in 1994, Ukraine signed this security assurance agreement to give up its nuclear weapons, at that time the world's third largest arsenal, in exchange for promises by the United States and the United Kingdom of commitment for Ukraine's territorial sovereignty. We are between oblivion and memory. And yet the story is too vital to allow it to slip into the nothing. We must speak out about the genocide of 1932 to 1933 and the one from 2014 through 2024 in Ukraine by small letter Russia. We must connect to the souls of the fallen and let them know that we see them. We are looking for them. We are looking for the tens of thousands of Ukrainian children who have been abducted in the last 998 days from Ukraine. Yeah. On Tuesday, it's 1,000 days. 3,916 days since the first day of the genocide, when on February 27th, 2014, Russia invaded Ukraine initially. We will look past oblivion into the eyes of the Ukrainian mothers, fathers, children, and warriors, taking a stand, insisting on memory, bringing the story into the light as we will do today.